Hey everyone. So today, I'm going to go ahead and hop right into a let's build, and then I'll go ahead and talk to you guys about what I've been going up to, what I've been doing, all the things that have been happening currently, and as of late. I will kind of do a little bit of a rundown on some of what we're going to be doing in the video itself towards the latter end of it, because it's not just going to be a build video, it's also going to be a little bit of a gameplay video. But for the most part, it's going to be a voiceover of me talking about what's been going on. You guys may have seen that one video where I was talking about how I could potentially be put onto second shift, so my schedule would change. That's probably the most prevalent thing that you guys might have heard about. The problem with that particular instance, though, was that at the time of being told that I could do that, my boss said that it would be a temporary change or a temporary move / transition, and so I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds cool. Fast forward a couple of weeks after I submit that request, and I'm told that it could potentially become a permanent deal. Like, I would permanently be on a 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. schedule, and that's not it, Chief. That's not cash money. And so, a large majority of that time, following that initial video of me saying that I might change to second shift, a lot of that was worried about a lot of that time was spent being worried about whether or not I would be permanently stuck there. Thankfully, I was not. About maybe a week after I was informed about that, I was drawn into a Zoom meeting between my supervisor and my boss, and they were kind of going over what was going on and how it was going to work out. And mind you, my boss has been in communication with me this entire time. He knows I don't want to do it anymore if it's going to be permanent, so it's not one of those things where he was shocked. So that meeting went relatively well. I basically told my supervisor if it's going to be a permanent ordeal, I don't want to do it. If it was going to be more of a temporary transition, then yeah, sure, I'll do it. But if it's going to be permanent, then that is definitely not a no-go for me, bud. So, on top of the schedule changes, a few other things have been occurring lately. My state, along with the town that I live in, they've been experiencing more and more increases in COVID-19 throughout the past few weeks that I've been not inactive, but I've been slowing down on my uploads, and I've been slowing down on my streams and whatnot. A lot of times what'll end up happening is I'll be one of the only people on site at work, and so I get very exhausted, not because we have a lot of work to do, but because it's quite the opposite. There's almost nothing to do. And I'm very much one of those people who, if I don't have anything to do and anything to expend energy on, and I end up doing that all day and just sitting around and not really doing anything, then I get just so exhausted. And that's what's been happening quite often very lately, is where I'll be sitting at work doing almost nothing, or the few things that I have to do are going to be able to be done so quickly that I might as well wait until the end of the very end of the work shift in order to do them. And so I'll do that. I'll just play on my phone or go find an empty classroom and just chill out for 20, 30, 40 minutes and just hang out until I have to go do something that's on my to-do list for that day. And then that is, as one would suspect, at first it's really cool, but then after maybe a day, maybe 3, or in my case 4 weeks, it gets very old and it gets very boring. And so I'm incredibly exhausted with the way that they've been handling the coronavirus and their precautions and all this other stuff, because every department except mine is working from home in some capacity. Like, they're not there all day, all week like my department is. They're there like 3 days out of the week for a half day, or they're there twice out of the week for a half day, or they're there all day but they're only there once or twice a week, that kind of thing. Whereas with me and my department, we are there literally all day, all week, and we are one of the only departments that are being made to do that, and it is probably the most frustrating thing I've ever experienced. Not in the sense that, like, I have to come into work, oh, boo-hoo, but rather a matter of, like, if everyone else is working from home, it doesn't feel good, when no one else is actually there. to actually be accountable for their work, especially when all the problems, since I'm IT, all the problems that come in that the users are experiencing are 100% a matter of them not working. So a good example would be we have an authentication application that we've been using for our web portal so that you can actually do your work from home. And it's called Okta Verify. You can look it up. It just basically generates a number. It's like a two-factor authentication thing. And it's almost exactly like the Blizzard Authenticator or the Battle.net Authenticator, if you've ever used one of those, but it's per account and per phone. So like for our instances, if you get a new phone or you delete the application and re-download it, you have to redo your authentication factors. And there's so many people who will call in saying, hey, I got a new phone 3 weeks ago and it hasn't worked since then. And that's so frustrating. Because, like, that means that for 3 weeks they haven't been working. And they haven't gotten in trouble. Nothing's happened to them. And, like, if I had done that, I would have immediately been in trouble. Like, if I do a single day without working, or if I don't work for a single day, I get in trouble. And so it's super frustrating. And it's one of those things where lately, after work, I just kind of want to veg out. And so a lot of the times my uploads have been neglected because of that. I'm going to try and come back forward with that. This video should be uploaded before a new video game Let's Play that I'll be doing. The game has been out for a while, maybe about a year or two. So chances are you've probably played it, or you've watched other people play it. But I will be playing it for the first time, and then we'll be doing that and segueing into a new release that will be coming out very shortly. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on to the gameplay portion of this video, and I'll see you guys in a moment. To kind of explain what we're doing here, in the first part of this video, we built the library, and now we're going to be building a little pathway that leads from the library, or around the library's general premises, to the skeleton spawner. This will make it a little bit easier to get to it, and it will also make the entrance look a lot better than it did before. And so right now I'm just digging out general areas of where I need to be at in order to get this to look okay. So let's see, this is 7 long. I want this to be, we could make this 7 wide too, just to make it a square. The skeleton spawner isn't quite finished. It is, but it isn't. So we finally dug out the bottom portion of the spawner where the skeletons fall to, and that's doing pretty well. But now I just need to make it so that the skeletons will be in a little bit better looking area. So I need to get more bone blocks and all that other jazz. So now that we're here, I want the tunnel to start here. This is where I want the tunnel to be. So we'll actually dig this out another 3 blocks forward. Cool. And I'm going to go ahead and put a torch down and then make the doorway. Now we just got to go back outside and figure out where I need to be at. Let me actually write down the coordinates. Just put them into chat. So the middle of this is 89159 and 1099, it looks like. And that's where I want to be at. So I'm trying to determine if I want the entrance to the skeleton spawner to be inside of the library or just off the side of it. Because I could just make a staircase here that goes down, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. Because this is rather nice. I quite like this little cellar-ish looking area. This library is still not quite fully finished, as is evidenced by the missing windows and some of the missing details, but we'll end up working on that later. I just wanted the actual structure to be completed before I did anything else. So I'm thinking, the way that I'm thinking about this is I want a staircase that leads up onto the wall to be here. So let's see. I could have a staircase that goes up onto the wall, start here. And that could go all the way up to the top of it. And then... Yeah, that's so hard to actually determine. I think I'm going to go ahead and start with the entrance into the skeleton farm to start here. It's going to have to go down a little bit further, though. So, let's see. That's going to be a stair right there. I don't want this to go down too far. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could actually have that there. And then we could have another stairwell that goes down the last 3 blocks forward. Let's do that. So let's make a little walkway that goes underneath the top of the... I really hope that's not going to actually ruin anything there. So there's going to be stairs there. So I need one more block before we actually go down again. I may have to terraform above us so that it doesn't break into the topsoil. Okay, that should work. Perfect. So now that's at the level that I want it to be at. We could put like a doorway here, but I'm not going to do that. The doorway is going to be lower. Okay, so we're at 5.9. That's the level that we need to be at. And we're about... What? Let's see, 891. So we're quite a few blocks away from where we need to be. I kind of want this to also be the entrance to where the sewers would be. Because my idea behind it all is that I want the necromancy location to kind of be a little bit of a dark secret. I don't necessarily want it to be something that everyone knows about. I'm a little disappointed in myself that I didn't put a graveyard over the skeleton spawner instead of the farm. That would have been a lot cooler, I think. If the graveyard itself was the skeleton farm. That'd be really cool. Or alternatively, I could have had like a mausoleum as the building that the skeleton spawner needed to be accessed from. I think that could have been cool. With as close to the surface as the skeleton spawner is, there was a bunch of things that we could have done. Unfortunately, I was already in the middle of making the farm, and that's kind of where that farm was going to be. I had no idea that that is where the skeleton spawner was at, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to make another chest for dirt specifically here soon. be sure to light this up a little bit. Okay. So let's see. Where is... So this building is 23 blocks long. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, and 3. So now we're the full length of the church, or the library, rather. I would like this to open up into the initial tunnels for what the sewer system will be. But I feel like that may be a little bit too low. Or rather, too high up. Because the sewer system that I have the idea for is going to be kind of large. I want the tunnels to be relatively large. So this is 23 blocks long. This is 24. I want to get it to at least a 5 wide tunnel after that. I want to say that was it. So we need one more. Let's count. Wait a minute, hang on. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, cool. So that is correct. And that is 5 blocks long. Let's do one more. I really hope I'm not digging underneath the lava lake at this point. Or the lava section. The reason why I want one more is so that I can have a doorway. I hear the lava. So that's either like right above us, or it's maybe 7 blocks away from us. So this is how I want this to look now. I'm wanting, after we get to this point, I want there to be another staircase that goes down this way. But then there's going to be a hidden door here that I'm going to have to engineer, possibly. Or maybe it'll just be behind some chests and like a shelf almost. But for now, we'll go ahead and set this up. So let me see where I'm at, actually. I'm at 888. I need to be at 891, which is 2 blocks that direction. Or 3 blocks to that direction, so there's going to be a little bit of a twisty turn here. Like I said, I don't want to dig into the lava pit, because we are going to be using that for a future build. So we'll put a torch there. And then let's see. Not quite to 1099. I could just open this up into the side of the side of that room that I made, but it's kind of too late for that now, I think. So hopefully we're not digging into lava now, because I gotta move this direction. $891 is where I need to be. Perfect. Awesome. So we figured that one out. Cool. So now we have this connected. So now there's no real need for this here. I'll be able to get rid of that cobblestone block up at the very top, and we'll be able to do something with that. So let's make sure that there's no monsters spawned. That's cool. So you guys have seen this bit of the spawner. I think after I show you the new progress in the spawner room, we'll probably call this a video. I can actually do this now. There we go. So this is the new spawner room. It's starting to get that way, or it's starting to get there. Now I have a plan for this room in particular. I want the ceiling to be a little bit higher, so I'm going to probably take the ceiling out by at least 2 to 3 blocks, make that 2 to 3 blocks taller. And then I want the ceiling to actually be made of a gigantic rib cage and a gigantic spinal column. And so the middle of the room is going to have a spine in the middle of it. So let me show you what I mean. Let me find the middle of the room. There is one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So there's, there should be the 9th block. That is the middle. So this should be it. So right here, there's going to be a giant spine going across the ceiling. And then I'm going to have ribs coming off of the spine, almost like a giant fossil. And I'm going to incorporate some of those giant ribs into the columns of what'll basically be a larger version of the skeleton spawner up top. But this particular room is going to be one of my favorites once I actually get it finished. The floor is... I finished this earlier today. The floor is bone blocks and polished basalt blocks. There's about 315 bone blocks in here, which is like 3 bones per block. That's like 945 blocks, or 945 bones. So the skeleton spawner has indeed fulfilled its purpose. But as always, I hope you guys are staying as safe as you possibly can, and try not to catch the Rona, because it's a little bit more serious than a lot of people are making it out to be. But I'll see you guys next time.